Hello, everyone. I am Manisha Narang, an IELTS expert here, and I welcome you all to Leverage IELTS, powered by Leverage Edu, right here, to help you with an interesting topic for the day learners. I have been training thousands of people out there with this language for various competitive exams, whether national or international. And I'm right here to help you and assist you with an interesting topic right here. Quickly give me a thumbs up and hi and hello here in the chat, everyone, those who are right here. And we are good to start then. Yes, learners. I should, before we start, hey Shreya, hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining in. Let me give you an interesting and amazing piece of information before we get started with this session for today. That is that Leverage Edu here extends all the possible services around your tests. You name it, whether it is your test prep, it's about your application, scholarship, visa, loan, whatnot. It is one-stop shop, learners, and that is why it's all there. We're all here for you. Hello, everyone. Vaishnavi, Sonia, Purti, Sanaira, thank you. Hello, everyone. All right. So, the piece of information, the topic for the day, the most interesting part is writing. And I guess that's one specific section for all of us and for majority of us where we find it to be the most typical and we juggle with it a lot. And in writing, when it comes to task two, which has the major weighted if you compare it with task one, then this keeps it actually helps it makes us go crazy, right? So I'm here to help you out with major tips and tricks around writing tasks too. Hello, Sanjay and Srinay Melika. Welcome, Karan. Okay, so without further ado, let's kickstart. The very first point that I am, yeah, great. So, very first point that I'm going to start with is learners, the major mistake that we commit is I have analyzed this, and a lot of learners have asked me around this. Then, how do we analyze the question? See, learners, there's one thing that the common questions that students ask me is do we write it all in capitals? Or can we use idioms or proverbs in our writing? Or like how to analyze the question, which I just mentioned? Or can we add information using that circumflex symbol? Like there, and the list goes on. There are numerous queries around it. So let's first understand how to analyze the question, and then I'll take you to further answers of these queries. Okay. Karan, very well. Stay with us here. Keep visiting this space for reading. Also, we'll come up soon. It's planned. So everything is there in the buffer. Okay? Great. So for task two, learners, when there's a question, for instance, the question says that global warming is a major threat to human being and sea levels are continuing to rise at an alarming rate, for instance. So the question asks you, what are the major problems caused or associated to this, and what solutions do you suggest? Now, a quick question to all of you right here. How many parts does this question have? Quickly tell me. Anirudh, Jennifer, Karan, Sanjay, Sanaira, Purti, Vaishnavi. How many parts do we have in this question? What are the problems associated to this, and what solutions would you suggest? Vaishnavi says two. Great. Shreya says two. Wonderful. Any other? Oh, Jennifer says two. We have the answer. Sanaira, all of you. Wonderful, Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu, not three, but two. Two, Namrita, Sonia. Swaraj, not four. It is two. Absolutely. So when it is, the question is saying, what are the problems? That's first part. And what are the solutions? That will be the second part, right? Now, for instance, the question is about your opinion. And the question says some people, for instance, if it comes that government should spend more money on education rather than spending it on sports. And the question says, do you agree or disagree? What would you, what is the part, number of parts in this question? Quickly. What, do you agree or disagree? Quickly. Number of parts to this question. Let's analyze it. This is step one when it comes to analyzing your question. That is one. Absolutely. Absolutely. This has just one part. So this is one major step towards starting with writing task 2. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Swaraj, Vaishnavi, Sinara, Sonia, very well done. 1. Okay. Now, learners, once you've done this, you have to understand what content you need to put in, right? So, for that, you need to evaluate the keywords in the question: global warming, sea level, increasing or rising. So, you should focus on the words which are main subjects or the action words. Keywords and the action words are the words that you need to bring into use, that you need to focus on to understand what the question is actually all about, what is the backdrop, and what in which direction you have to think. So these two steps, I summarize it quickly. How to analyze the question? Number one, that you first set to what number of types, what number of parts it has, number one. Number two, the keywords along with the action words, so that you know what action you have to take towards when you're writing it, in which direction you will take it. Wonderful, thank you. And now I make you go to the next part. And this is again a common questions that come around, and I've taken all the tips and tricks alongside all around that. Okay. Number two comes that, do we need to mention interesting ideas? Like, is it mandatory? Like, people always tell us, my friend says, well, this is a weak idea. I don't think that this will work. I think this is better. Does that matter in IELTS? Quickly tell me, learners. Like in schools and colleges, we were always told that if you do not mention interesting ideas, then you will not fetch good scores or better scores, I would say. Do you think that's the case in IELTS? Yes or no? Waiting for your responses. Yes or no? Karan says it is important. Well, we'll see to it. Yes, Shreya says no, no, Avrati. So we have, as of now, the way to, oh, it's a tie now. Well, flow and lexical resource is important. Swaraj, I agree to that. Vaishnavi says no. Rayansh says no. Okay, we have majority responses to be no, which is absolutely right. It is not about interesting ideas, learners. It is not at all about that. See, every individual will have his or her own perspective, right? Absolutely. So we cannot force, and we cannot state that no, this is weak or this is strong. But in IELTS, you need to have two things. Number one, focused ideas. It should be around the topic. Everything that you draft or you convey has to be around that topic. Okay, number one. And it has to be terse. Okay, do not just blabber there in your writing. Okay, that is important. Number two is that you give supported ideas. So your main idea comes, okay, and to support that, you have other things to state along with examples that could serve as major supported ideas there. See, examples, we always relate to the ideas, but they are also in themselves supported ideas, which is a major plus if you include them in your body paragraphs for your essays. Okay, and without examples, as I always tell my learners, body paragraphs tend to be incomplete. Okay, so keep that well in mind. Great. So those who said yes, now they have the apt answer, but great with no's, and they were majority ones. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next question. So the question comes first, and then we go to the tip and trick, how to work around it. Can we use quotes or idioms in IELTS essay? What would you say around this? Can we use any specific quote that we have, or any proverb or idiom around this? Can we use that? What would you say about this? Sonia says yes. Avriti says no. Okay, Karan, yes. Uh-huh. I have mixed responses here. Okay, you remember we used to start our essays with a quote to score well, and we used to memorize it actually. That was rote learning that we used to take up with so that we can kickstart it, and we used to feel so confident then. Vaishnavi says not sure. Sanaira says yes, yes. Let me tell you, it's a big no. What I suggest you is, what's better instead of using an idiom or a proverb or something like idiomatic term? I'll tell you a better way to go with learners. It's better to use the context behind that idiom. I'll give you an example also. I'll give you an example also. For instance, if I say that I have done with one shot or with one step, I have catered two things. So I can use this idiom, no, that I have killed two birds with one stone, right? But this thing will not go in your writing. This can come in your speaking, which is more of casual. But in your essay writing, instead of saying killing two birds with a stone, you can say, this is about getting two things done with a single action. Okay? Or in one go. Like, in one go, also, I would say to avoid in a single action. That's more of academic and formal to put forth. And that's what I want from you all. So there are two reasons, learners, of not putting the idioms or proverbs. Number one, they are informal and a bit casual, okay? And number two, they are not really your words, okay? So it's better that you use the context behind it and you draft it in your words. But better, like as in formal and upgraded words that you should use instead of being so casual. That's only allowed in general writing that we'll discuss in some other session, okay? But here, let's stick to writing task two. So, anybody with any questions, if in case you feel anything that you need to ask around the questions or topics that we are discussing, you people can post your queries here. Stay with me. I'm here to help you all, okay? All right, learners. Moving on to the next part. The next part says, like, do I have to use a variety of complex sentence structures? Quickly, yes or no? In your writing task two, in your IELTS writing task two, do you need to use a range of complex sentence structures? Well, yes, Avriti says. Riyansh has an answer. No. Vaishnavi, yes. Sonia, no. Prakriti, Karan, oh, well, goodness, I'm happy. I'm so happy that you people are active. Wonderful. Keep going. Namrata, Shreya, Sanaira, wonderful. No. So let me tell you here, it is a yes. So it was no, no, no for long, but now it's a yes. Sonia, I would agree to this advanced structure. I agree that is more or less we're talking of complex. I'll tell you why I'm stating it complex. Uh, Good grip, it has to be. It has to be there. Okay. Now, learners, complex sentences are sentences where you club two or more ideas in one sentence. Now, this helps you showcase your ability, your linguistic ability, as in how well and how comfortable you are with this language in terms of structuring lengthy sentences, stating two or three things together in one, putting the use of connectors and linking words, as in however, while, whereas, but, yet, everything. Okay, so complex sentences, I'm not saying use only complex sentences, mind you. We're talking about a balance of simple that can also come, okay, and complex sentences. But that has to be a variety of. That means you should use various linking words, punctuation. You can take help of commas, an interesting way of structuring a complex sentence. There are various ways of structuring complex sentences. You can use relative clauses. Ankit Gurpreet, okay. Ankit is it's a yes, okay. So I was telling you that various ways of structuring complex sentences. You can use relative clauses. You have conditionals like if, when to use, okay, whenever. You can also use subordinate clauses, okay, until, unless. All of that can come in, learners, and you can structure complex sentences. And you should practice. Okay, you should definitely practice to structure complex sentences. And all my students right here, we do make you practice in the sessions, right? So that's a good to go. Now, another part is it important to proofread our essay? Because I've seen majority of my learners and people who come to us, I have had this understanding to them that they do not, either they do not get time to proofread or they are least bothered. Yes, Avriti says yes. Avriti says yes, we should proofread our essays. So people, are you people not interested in proofreading? What is it? Why? Yes, Rayan says yes. Vaishnavi says yes. Exactly, Sanaira. Wonderful. Exactly. Learners, proofreading your essays is of utmost importance. Now, why is that so? See, it can save you half a band for sure if, in case, you've committed these minor errors, as in there's any spelling error that you can rectify, maybe. Okay. If there's spelling errors that you believe that you can rectify. Ashwarya says no, but the answer is yes. Okay. We should proofread. Let us see the 40 minutes you have, okay, for task two. So, what you should do is use this model that we always tend to give to our learners. I'll give you a major tip here. That is PWP model. Okay, you plan, you write, and you proofread. I repeat, plan, write, and proofread. Okay, so in the initial 5 minutes out of those 40 minutes, you plan your essay, brainstorm the main ideas. So step one will be that you analyze the question, like just I taught you, as in the very beginning. Number two will be that you brainstorm the main points and make note of them. Learners, this is another mistake, another blunder I would say that people come up with, and they do not make notes of their key points that they're going to elaborate or they're going to draft in their essays. I would stiffly suggest you that you note down whatever you've brainstormed, just make a note of it quickly. Okay. So that you don't have to just keep on moving, like just brainstorming every other moment while you're writing. While you're writing, your focus should be on use of words, better words, structures, vocabulary, all of that. Okay. So learners, step two is where you brainstorm your ideas. So done with this, and then you go with writing. How much time you spend on writing? 25 minutes, and it's more than enough. It suffices the need. Okay. 5 minutes, 25 minutes to write, and you're left with 10 minutes to proofread. You read, go through your entire essay, and then just mark it. If you think there's any particular word that you need to change, is there any grammatical error in your sentence structure that you need to rectify, you can do all of that. Okay. And learners, how many of you would agree to this? Whenever we draft or we speak, there are minor slips where while writing or while speaking that we commit and we do not realize. But if we listen to somebody else and the person commits the same mistake, we would be able to recognize. Or if we proofread our own writing or somebody else's writing, we can make out the same mistake. How many of you would agree to this? Purti says yes. Who else? Do you believe that while we go with this flow, we don't realize, but when it comes to later part, just like us, our lives, after hitting it, only then we realize, we learn a lesson later. Agree, Sanaira, Karan, wonderful. Thank you for the responses. So yes, it is. And that is why, if you agree, then make sure that you proofread your essays, you proofread your writings. That is going to be wonderful, okay? That is going to be absolutely great for you. Now, learners, with this, it brings me to one more thing. It brings me to one more bit here. That is, learners, that when you write, and like I said, to proofread, right? So people often ask me this question that can we use this to add the information or to add some other word or piece of information? Can I use that circumflex like this? I'll just put it here in the chat. Can I use this symbol to add information? So, first, you people tell me, would you people agree that we can use this symbol to add information to our writing? Yes or no? What around that you have? Because, see, learners, I'll tell you why people are dubious or skeptic about it. The reason is, learners, that people are not that sure about it. Also, when it comes to proofreading, people don't do it like I told you just now. So we are not that well versed around it. Karan says yes. Okay, Karan says no. Well, Prakriti says yes. Anybody else around it? I need more response around this because this is one, I would say it's a hot potato. It's a topic of debate. Some say yes, some say no. So let's just close it today here. Pradeep says yes, Ankit says no. And let's have an answer to this, learners. Okay, Sanaira says no. You can. Till the time you present it with clarity, if it's clear, okay, if the examiner can read it well, it's understood, it's intelligible, it's absolutely okay to add information that way. Okay, it's absolutely fine because To let's say you've written an entire paragraph and you want to erase it completely, then add that little part and then rewrite the entire paragraph. That's not a wise decision, like a wise way or act to go with. So it's better that you use this, you add the piece of information, and it's good to go. Okay, it's good to go. All right, you are good to go with that. Now, after proofreading, there's one more bit that I wish to highlight. There are actually, we have more points coming up, but there's little. I would say this is not a major concept, but around writing, but messy writing. Learners, if the examiner is unable to make out what you've written, if the person is not able to understand what you've written, then how will he or she evaluate you, right? So that will be a major miss for you. And that will be an off for the examiner because the person couldn't just read and understand what you've written. How will that help? And how will that person actually give you scores, impart scores on that? So messy handwriting, if you have, go with computer delivered test and never go with paper based test. Okay? Yes, Sanaira. All right. Keep that in mind, everyone. Messy handwriting will take you nowhere. Okay, moving on to another point for the day. That is, do we need to maintain? Now, listen carefully and try to answer this. Okay, do we need to maintain that clear progression in our writing? Is paragraphing really important in IELTS writing section? Yes or no? Mayank, like I said, you would get writing to overall time you get is 60 minutes. Okay. So you can divide the time 20 minutes for your task one and 40 minutes for task two. Okay. Absolutely, yes, yes. Everyone is here with a yes, and I am happy to see that. Okay, we have a unanimous response this time at least. Okay, well, learners, absolutely. You have to. Paragraphing is of utmost significance here, and that is a major part of your coherence and cohesion section. Okay, if you have not devised your writing with specified paragraphs like the standard structure, okay, which is of majorly 4 paragraphs. Okay, it should be your introduction, then your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then comes your conclusion. If you haven't applied to this standard structure, then there are people who write just 1 paragraph, entire essay, or maybe 2. If you go that way, learners, then you cannot scale above 5, band 5 in coherence cohesion section. So you will have to be careful. You'll have to be exceedingly careful around this. Okay, so paragraphing is important, and then not with this only, with paragraphing only, I'm attaching this part, the logical flow, clear progression. It's not just about paragraphs, it's more to it. Let me tell you what it is. There are lot many points added to it. Now watch out carefully. Okay, number one is that whatever you draft, the sentences and the paragraphs, they should be intertwined. That means they should be interconnected. They should make sense. They should be in logical order. It should not be that you're talking about something and it's not at all related. The next sentence is not at all making sense to what you wrote prior to that. That will that will take off your scores. That will definitely slash your scores down and you will suffer. Okay. So point number one is that the sentences and the paragraphs within should have that logical order or sequence of the pieces of information. Now, how do we do that? You can use the linkers. Okay. You can use referencing. What is referencing? Let's say body paragraph one, I drafted the problems, for example. Okay. And body paragraph two, I'm going with solutions, right? So in the body paragraph two, when you kickstart with this paragraph, you can simply mention that in order to address these, or in order to address these issues, okay, or resolve these issues, these solutions, or whatever, these, this, that, these, those, all these words when you use, okay, these are your words, keywords that you can use for referencing. I'm coming to your point, Karan. These are for your referencing. Okay. So the point is, the concept is that you paragraphs you work on, logical flow of information, referencing, connectors to use in place. These things are what will keep it intact, and your essay is going to have a clear progression. It will all be thorough, and it'll all make sense to the examiner as well. And see your scores. You'll do wonders. Okay? You'll do wonders. Any questions around this? Oh, yes, Karan. All the sessions are recorded. You have them all right here. But why don't you stay? We'll be like, we have 5 to 4 minutes more to go, 5 to 7 more minutes to go. Why don't you stay with us? Uh huh. Okay. Yes, I have a quick question to you people now. Whatever we've discussed around, anybody with any questions here associated to this part? Learners, please keep this in mind, that the timing, because you have to work under timed conditions. Okay, you have to work 60 minutes total time is for writing. You divide it accordingly, like I just mentioned, 20 minutes for task 1 and 40 minutes for task 2. 40 minutes more than sufficient. Also, if you want to go with task 2 first, you can go with task 2 first. Okay, and then you can attempt task 1. All right, if you want to go that way, because there are students who are unable to manage time for task 2, because that's a lengthy section. You have to write at least 250 words here in this section. So people find it difficult and they lose hold or control of the time. I don't want you people to fall in that trap anyhow. Okay, all right, so please stay up. So for today, this is what I have to share with you all, everyone here. Okay. And I hope that you've learned something, you've grabbed something to apply and to implement, and this will help you prosper, right? Quickly give me a thumbs up here, everyone, if you've learned something new. And I thank you all for joining in. And as I said, if you need any help with us around IELTS, for your test prep, for your visa application process, anything around that, we are right here to assist you. Great. Thank you very much, Karan, Ankit. I really appreciate this. Sanaira, thank you very much. Prakriti. Oh, yes, indeed. Riansh, yes, that is available. That is there. Karan, we'll go with reading also in the upcoming sessions. So definitely, I'll keep this noted, and we're soon coming up with reading part as well. Okay, not to worry, not to worry. And you can keep us posted. You can reach out to us. You can mail us. Okay, if you want any other topic to discuss, you can just let us know, and you can drop it in the comment section also. If you have a list that you want us to cover with you, we'll come up with more live sessions and we'll help you with every bit. Okay. Prakriti college essay. Okay. How to start writing? There are numerous videos that are there in on writing essays specifically, but that is for IELTS. It's specifically diverted, or I would say directed towards IELTS. So you can take some help from there for sure. Okay. Great, Sonia. Thank you very much. So now I plan soon to see you all in the okay, Rian says discussion versus opinion structure for writing well. Okay, see, introduction and conclusion stays there intact. Okay, now please, everyone, hear this out. It's an interesting part, and most of the people have this query with this discussion versus opinion. So let's get this sorted here too. So discussion essay, the question statement goes as discuss both points of view or discuss both the sides and give your opinion. Whereas opinion essay says, do you agree or disagree, or to what extent do you agree, disagree? Fine. So, how do you differentiate your body paragraphs? Introduction, conclusion, that we'll talk about later. That's a bit extended part in the outline. But body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2 in your discussion essay will be bifurcated on the basis of the two sides given. So in body paragraph 1, Rianch, what you will write is the first side. Like some people believe that government should spend more money on education. Others believe it should spend on sports. So some people believe it should spend on education. That will come in body paragraph 1 along with your opinion, whether you agree or disagree to it. Okay. And in body paragraph 2, the second side will come, that is other people who believe that it has to be spent on sports. Then again, your opinion, whether you agree to disagree to this part, and an example sentence to support it. Okay. However, in uh, opinion essay, Rianj, you have to go body paragraph 1. Let's say if you agree, if you completely agree, body paragraph 1 will have first reason of agreement completely explained and elaborated. And body paragraph 2 will have second reason of agreement explained and elaborated. Remember one thing, everyone. Each body paragraph has to have a topic idea, and remember this, that it should not, this is not that should happen that you abruptly start your or you're giving any backdrop to it. Body paragraph should start straight up with your main ideas. Okay. Karan, not tomorrow but soon. There are other live schedules of everyone. You will have a lot of content here. Just keep visiting this space. There are a lot of things coming your way. Essay topics will be general. Oh, Shreya, yes. So topics are general. They are majorly around environment, education, health. Okay, so they are generic in the sense that you can think around. Okay, Shreya. Yes, Riyanj. On one hand, on the other hand, that is discussion. I absolutely agree. And firstly, secondly, okay, that you can go with, or for the first, or on the other, another reason could be that you can use in your opinion essay. Okay, Riyanj. Now, but however, if you partially agree, if you agree to one point and you disagree on other point, then Riyanj, in your opinion essay also you can use on one side, I believe this, and on the other side. Okay, there will be one reason for agreement and one reason for disagreement. All right. I hope this helps, Riyanj. And there are detailed videos also here on this channel that we've posted around writing. You can definitely visit them and keep us posted with any other topics you want us to come on. Okay, come up with. All right, that's wonderful. And do reach out to us, learners, if you have any need around this. Okay, you're welcome, Riyansh. So I'll see you people soon in the next session. And I just actually recall these names easily because you people were so active. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye and take care. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you.